Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the evening session, day 20 of 28 Days to a New Consciousness. And we begin, of course, right now. Hosted here live on the Awaken the World page. And I, of course, am Garen. So nice to see you all this evening. I'm looking a little scruffy. I was supposed to shave today, never did get around to it. Too busy planning something very interesting in our basement. I've always watered an isolation tank, a really nice one, a proper float tank. So rather than pay the ridiculous price that they want for those things, I'm going to build my own because I'm that sort of person and I like building those sort of things. Anything to improve or help create that space we all need. So I see that Carol is here this evening. That has popped up. I don't see any comments, though, apparently. Something a little wacky is going on, so I do apologize for that. And in the meantime, I'm counting on Kelly, of course, to let me know what's there and respond to any questions or concerns that may appear. So what are we going to talk about this evening? Well, this morning we talked about where the peace is, where the happiness is, the contentment. And it's not in the past where we think we had it, and it's not in the future where we're hoping it will be one day. The only opportunity we're ever offered is right now in this minute, right in this moment, in this present moment. And in that present moment awareness, there can truly be nothing wrong. Everything is just as it is. Now, the whole world drags us outside of ourselves all the time. I totally get that. And I've had not one person, but many people over many years say the same thing. It's like, okay, well, how do you live the life you've lived and be such a happy-go-lucky, funny guy, totally at ease? Well, the reason being is the focus of tonight's little discussion. If you do not go within, you go without. Now, what does this really mean? It's a lot deeper than people give it credit for, okay? Because when we fail to go within and we go without, as in we go outside of ourselves, we immediately lose touch with what we are. When we buy the outside of our experience more than we buy what's going within, we are no longer truly ourselves. We have subsumed ourselves to the experience, whatever that experience may be. Now, there's another way we go without, and that is when there's a space between the word. We go without, as in we don't have. You see, as long as we're reaching outside of ourselves for some sort of fulfillment we feel we're in need of, and I want you to be very careful with this word, the word need. Today we were about to go downstairs and do some sun salutations, which is a particularly nice way to keep the body relaxed and limber. It's a beautiful, repetitive little yoga set of asanas you just repeat over and over again. And right before we went down, Kelly, she wanted me to make her a coffee. And the way she spoke to me about making her the coffee was not as important as the energy that she was projecting. The energy that somehow she shouldn't be asking, or she wasn't worthy to ask, that she was disturbing me, pulling me back from the direction I was going. And I watched all of these things materializing in her mind. And then as we sat there talking about it, I watched fresh explanations coming up, trying to rationalize. And I called her on them. I said, honey, stop. Let's talk about these thoughts you have in your head right now. And I proceeded to tell her exactly what she was thinking about and where that was coming from. We try to hand other people our energy all the time. We try to hand them our power. And in that moment, Kelly was trying to hand me some of her power, quite unconsciously. I gave it right back to her, though. I said, nope, I don't want your power. There's no explanation you need. You're not less than I am. You are not bothering me. You have the right as a sovereign being and part of our relationship to just say, honey, I would really like a coffee. Would you please make me one? I understand why. I make the best coffee in the house. That's not an ego trip. That's the truth. It's just an observation. When Kelly makes coffee, it never works out. When I make coffee, it's great. That is a task that I do then, with no ego. It's a duty that I perform. Whenever we're straying outside of ourselves, we run that risk. We run the risk of handing our power over consciously or unconsciously to another because we are not remaining centered in our own being. The one greatest resource you have is the ability to stop, take that one conscious breath, and follow the breath deep within yourself. And as I mentioned to one group member today, you can even keep in your mind the easiest mantra of all because it flows with the breath. So hum. I am. With nothing after that. Just the I am. This single breath and the so hum will pull you back to the present moment. Remind you of the truth of your existence and the truth of your being. I am. And then choose, knowing the I am is the core of you, and whatever you choose is momentary, fleeting, part of your experience here. That gives us the ability in a situation we're in where we're being dragged outside of ourselves to pull ourselves back within, reaffirm and reestablish our base in the power of the truth of our existence, and then act from our highest selves from that point, fully realizing that our perceptions are creating our reality, and mindful of our perceptions, mindful of what the mind is trying to do, what the ego is trying to do in the situation. By spending time in meditation, by constantly bringing yourself within, you help to create that space. You also learn to become more comfortable with the beingness of your being. And these are both extremely valuable practices that you want to incorporate into your existence. The reason you do so is because you have a lifetime of programming to get through. And all of the things that you've experienced, your mind, your egoic sense of self lives from that state. And it's difficult to get by. There is no rush. You know, the very fact that you're able to hear a higher consciousness-based truth is a miracle in a lifetime. The very fact that you're willing to try to apply that truth into your existence is another profound miracle in a human lifetime. If I told you the sheer number of lives that I spent totally asleep, totally lost, thousands of years, you're all doing so well just by being aware that there's something more. You're all doing the best you can at every moment of every day. And every time you catch yourself and think you failed in some way and want to beat yourself up, know this truth. In your awareness, what you are seeing and recognizing is indeed a victory. Because in your awareness of the machinations of ego and the machinations of the mind, you bring the light of your awareness to it. And every time you do, a little bit of that energy is restored into your being. Much love to you this evening. We have a fantastic meditation coming up at 7:30 p.m. on the Help Awaken YouTube channel. Not on the group page here on Facebook and not on the Awaken the World page. We are going to be on YouTube tonight on the Help Awaken YouTube channel. 7:30 p.m. Om Ram Ramaya Namaha. This mantra reconnects you with the divinity that you are, helps reduce stress, reduce anxiety, and provides just the right vibrations to restore your sense of being. I hope we get to see you there tonight. Again, all our love from both myself and Kelly. Take care.